if you have a PlayStation and play Gran Turismo on it, consider the DD Pro. But before going to the review, the necessary disclaimer. The DD Pro was sent by Fanatec for review, and below I have an affiliate link if you want to help the channel out. This review is all my own. Fanatec does not know what I'm doing, and they have zero control of this video. But anyway, take this video with a grain of salt. The DD Pro is now available for purchase, and it is a new official Gran Turismo wheel. It is essentially a CSL DD for the console, and because it's a wheel with Gran Turismo in mind, there were some fair criticisms regarding reviews, as most of them did not have a focus on that angle. So let's fix that wrong today and talk about why the DD Pro shakes things up for the console and why you should be paying attention to it. Without repeating too much the review of the DD Pro that you can see in the card above, it is essentially a bundled PlayStation compatible CSL DD. It includes the wheelbase, the GT wheel, some pedals, and a desk clamp. The CSL DD sent ripples in the sim racing industry by providing an affordable entry-level direct drive with a complete ecosystem. So if you already have seen reviews of the wheelbase or pedals, we're talking about the same thing, but with the PlayStation compatibility. The prices are as such: €700 or dollars for the 5nm bundle, 850 for the boost kit that will have 8nm, 970 for the 180 boost kit with the load cell. These will be delivered starting March. And then there's the Express version, which is essentially just a 5nm one, but you have to pay 150 extra, and there's no guarantee you're gonna receive this before Christmas. So in my opinion, ignore this one. Either wait, buy it at a later date, or just spend the money elsewhere. Currently, only these bundles are available, but maybe in the future, the wheelbase can be bought separately as long as Polyphony Digital allows for it. Fanatec has no other bundles planned. The wheelbase is essentially a block with some T-slot nut channels at the side and bottom. It will have 5nm or 8 depending on what is bought, and is compatible with pretty much all that is available in the Fanatec ecosystem, including some discontinued products. On the back, 4 RJ12 connectors for shifters and pedals are available, as well as a USB-C and a power connector. To mount it, it can be done with the provided desk clamp, or if you have a rig, just half both the T-slot nuts at the bottom or at the sides, slide the wheel in, then tighten it up. Let's talk about the pedals. They are decent, they are nothing more than that. In terms of construction, they are really solid. One could consider that the spring rates are too soft. I am one of those persons, but then again, these pedals are built with floor usage in mind, so you need to get something that is soft so it doesn't tilt. If you get the load cell bundle, then in that case, fix it to a rig or have something heavy in the back. Of the bundle, basically the CSL pedals are the weakest link by far. Let's talk about the main point of contention, which is the wheel. A lot of people have been saying that it looks like a toy. I can't really say that I really disagree, but my opinion, it's more like it looks, I guess, Japanese. It's built out of plastic. It has a rubberized grip that it feels kind of tacky, and I really don't like it at all. Despite the wheel being 280mm, it's sturdy despite looking like a toy. The D-pads cover basically all the car functions in Gran Turismo, and despite the criticism the wheel might receive because it really doesn't look that good, because it really doesn't, I think ergonomically it's sound. Your hands can reach everywhere, and it's well built and has a lot of functionality for the PlayStation and also for the PC. At the back you have the CSL quick release, which functions quite well on the DD Pro. If you use a podium quick release on the DD Pro or CSL DD, you'll find that these quick releases work far well. You'll have to use a securing bolt to ensure that the quick release won't move the wheel back and forth. This wheel, like all Fanatec wheel, will allow you to change the settings of the wheel on the fly by pressing a small button. In this case, it's over here. You press it and you have access to all the settings to change your force feedback as you want it to. I have my baseline for GT Sport that you can see on the screen. You can change all your settings through here. In my case, the force feedback is set at 80%, and I'm using the boost kit, which gives me 8nm peak torque for the steering wheel. Because I'm connected the pedals to the wheelbase, you can change your brake force. In this case, if you want to make it harder to brake, if you're using a softer foam, for example, if you have the CSL pedals, you can change your braking force to something higher. But because I'm using the V3s with quite stiff rubber, I'm leaving it at 80 for a GT Sport, but it's, once again, it's a case of preference and a case of what pedals you're using. The wheel is going to be tested on GT Sport only. I've tried it on ACC, and ACC doesn't have any force feedback at all. I don't understand why. It maybe needs an update on the software side, but on GT Sport, everything works correctly. Quick drives with the wheel. Best way to test the wheel is actually by driving them. Because of the ergonomics, it's quite easy to change, for example, your brake bias. You can also change your fuel when you have that option in the race. And you can also change your traction control. So let's put it to 0. Very easy to move. You don't really need to look at the steering wheel exactly because it's of how ergonomic it is. The good thing about direct drive wheels is that you get all the detail you need as long as the software allows, and GT Sport, in my opinion, it's one of the best, providing quite informative force feedback. I'm not sure if it's the more realistic or not, it really doesn't matter, but for the effect of driving and you understanding what the car is doing, GT Sport does it quite well and does it very differently for each specific car. So in this case, we are using a Group 3 car that is super stiff, and you feel that stiffness through the suspension left and right. When you brake, when you change direction, you can feel the little hints of slip of the tire. You can feel the little hints of the body rolling. You can feel the depressions of the suspension when it touches the tarmac. And you have that interesting force when you have the gyroscopic effect of the wheel trying to center the direction into the middle. So in terms of detail, this wheel does everything for GT Sport really well, and it does it really well on a PC too. In the case of a road car, just like this Golf GTI, even though it's a sporty car, it is tuned more towards the comfort of the driver instead of the GT3 or GR3 car, which is tuned more towards agility of the drive. That means if you go into a corner that has a long radius and you need some G's to clear it, what will happen is that you will feel through the steering wheel that the suspension is super soft, and the steering wheel will react accordingly. So it won't have that very big bite, and you won't feel a lot of granularity through the tarmac. Because of the tarmac, it will feel like it has a soft suspension, very much a lot of dampening in the steering wheel, which is absolutely fantastic. It's the way it's supposed to be. You go over the curbs, you still feel the sharpness through the driving shaft. It's a fantastic way that Gran Turismo does the force feedback. It's super detailed and very natural to feel. Now, because this is a front wheel driven car, that means if you go over the slip or over the grip level of the front tires, what you'll have, if I turn like this, you'll feel the wheel just give in. It will grab up to a maximum of grip and then just release all the grip, so you can very easily turn the car into the corner, or rather the steering wheel in the direction to the corner, because there is no grip there. The car won't turn anymore, and in reality it will go in front because there's no grip that the tire can do. So there's kind of a class, a kind of a way to drive these types of cars. And it's a kind of a way that I think Gran Turismo Sport does very well in representing. As a bundle, the DT Pro is quite interesting. It just joins everything from the CSL line and joins the Gran Turismo wheel. The prices are more or less in line if you were to buy everything separately, and then you need to add, of course, the licensing for Gran Turismo and the PlayStation compatibility. The choices are really up to you. If you are on a desk, I would say just go for the 5Nm. If you are on a sim rig or a wheel stand, or you have something really fixed to join your wheel to, go to the 8Nm. It makes a huge difference to the potential of this wheel. For me, the elephant in the room are the pedals, because they are definitely the weakest link of the chain. If you are comparing to the pedals that have been offered on the TGT2, I would rate them a little bit above of the CSLs. I just wish the pedals had a stronger foam or a choice of a stronger foam from the start, because it makes a huge difference to your braking. Once you get your muscle memory ready to the pedals, I think you should be okay. If you go to the load cell route, I think it will provide you also a little bit with a better braking performance. At least I found that when I tried it on the PC and also on Gran Turismo. If you're looking for a good wheel in Gran Turismo, the DD Pro is actually good, but make sure if you do really need the bundle, if you have something already from Fanatec, maybe you just need to wait a little more just to get the wheelbase, because if you already have peripherals like the old load cell pedals or the V3s or any sort of wheels, except of course the direct drive base, this bundle won't add much to your experience.